Well, some of our organised, pseudo-legal commercial argument friends have been at it again. That's those sort of freedom on the land, sovereign citizen types. So I'll explain what they've done, and it gives me a chance to talk about some other matters. While I stroll around, because I know you all like to see me sort of, perilously on cliff tops. I'm at Wheel Coats today, which is really sort of nice bit of mining heritage. But what's happened? Okay, gang of 4 guys. They had the spectacular plan to go and kidnap a coroner. So they turned up at the relevant court with spectacular planning. The actual coroner wasn't there, but they went in, they were all in high-vis jackets, they took handcuffs and all that sort of thing. And they said, "We are here to arrest the coroner." They said, "Well, he's not here, mate." They said, "Oh, okay, then we'll just arrest all you lot." And they basically wouldn't let them out of the building. So they were arrested, charged, and have now been convicted of conspiracy to kidnap and, there's like a sort of pause there, false imprisonment. So the kidnap bit, because they didn't actually manage to do it, they got done on the conspiracy, but they were done actually for false imprisonment of all the people that they detained in the building. So they've all been convicted and they are now awaiting sentence. What are they looking at? Well, the maximum penalty for false imprisonment and kidnap, it's both life in prison. Looking at the sentencing guidelines with something like this, to do one of my Mystic Al predictions, I think they're looking at the sort of 5 to 6 year bracket. But anyway, what are the offences? Well, let me talk about conspiracy, kidnap and false imprisonment. What's conspiracy? Conspiracy is an agreement to commit offences. Now, you commit conspiracy once you've done the agreement. As soon as you say, "Let's do this," that's all the elements of the offence completed. You don't have to go any further. Sometimes with attempts, when it's an attempt on a crime, you have to do something that is more than merely preparatory. So if you get everything ready, but you could still be in a position not to go ahead with it, then actually you don't commit the offence. But when it comes to conspiracy, merely agreeing is enough. It doesn't actually matter, by the way, if not everybody in the conspiracy is a real conspirator. I mean, this happens a lot in sort of police sting operations. It'll be an undercover police officer. Now, obviously, they weren't really going to do it. But at the same time, they say, well, it doesn't matter. You had been willing to agree with somebody to do it. So be very careful when you're talking to your newest gang member. What if you agree to do something that's not actually possible? Well, there's a distinction there between factually impossible and legally impossible. You can commit a conspiracy to agree to do something that would be factually impossible. Let's say we go, right, we're going to agree that we will break into the NatWest and steal the contents of their safe. And it turns out actually that NatWest closed down 10 years ago. It doesn't matter, because we were agreeing to something that was factually impossible, but it was legally possible, because obviously, robbing a bank is an offence. But what if you say, "I've got a really good idea, guys. I think we should start smuggling snuff into the country." Well, actually, smuggling snuff isn't actually an offence. So even if you agree to it, you've agreed to something that's legally impossible. It's an offence that's legally impossible to commit, because it's not an offence. So in that particular case, no, you're fine. The agreement itself doesn't have to be particularly formal. You can form a conspiracy with a nod and a wink, as they say. So, it could literally be if you were just out and about and, you sort of see something left there and you decide to do a bit of shoplifting and you just look at somebody you don't even know, but you just give each other the nod, like, shall we just grab this and run off? Then actually you've committed the offence of conspiracy there as well. So I'm just walking through, like I said, I'm just trying to get some decent shots of this, because it's a lovely spot, this. I mean, they actually used to mine 2 miles out to sea, under the sea. We might be seeing more of the sea, because I'm going to climb down to another bit shortly, and it's a really steep climb, so we might be seeing more of the sea than I actually planned. Okay, so that's conspiracy. Now, interestingly, you can actually commit a conspiracy where what you're planning to do wouldn't be an offence if somebody did it on their own, but it becomes an offence if you combine to do it. That's quite rare, but it used to be a big thing back in the trade union days when they used to have the combination acts. So it's not a criminal offence to breach a contract. But what if you all agree and say, "We're not going to go into work tomorrow, well, you've actually all agreed to breach contract, and that actually turns it into a conspiracy. I mean, it gets a bit complicated because if it's all done through a trade union with like votes and things like that, they do actually have immunity. What are the elements of kidnap? Kidnap is taking away somebody either through force or fraud with no lawful excuse to do it, and they wouldn't have consented to being taken away. I mean, it's rather weird because you could actually like kidnap a child and they probably wouldn't actually know what was going on, but you can still commit the offence. Force is obviously like grabbing somebody, but what if you like pretend to be somebody else? Hello, I've just come, your mum said to come and pick you up from school. Or, hello, I'm a police officer, I need you to come with me, and you're not. Well, actually, that amounts to kidnap. So without lawful excuse, so if the police haul you off, they're actually allowed to do that. So that's not kidnap, even if they drag you and take you to the police station. What are the elements then of false imprisonment? Because this is the one that they're going to get done with. False imprisonment is quite an interesting topic, actually, so that allows me some rambling. Ooh, this is really, really shaly. Probably should have put some better climbing boots on for this one, but never mind. Hope you can see all that pretty flowers. False imprisonment is where you basically detain somebody unlawfully. You do not allow them to leave from somewhere. That can be through force. You could just physically restrain them, or you could lock them in, or you could just threaten them. You leave here, matey boy, and I'll do for you. Interestingly, you can actually be falsely imprisoned, even if you didn't actually know anything about it. So say, for instance, I'm having a nap somewhere, and you lock me in my room, and then the police come and rescue me. I didn't even know, actually, or you've unlocked the door by that stage, I walk out. I actually have been falsely imprisoned. The mere fact that I didn't realise I was being falsely imprisoned isn't a defence to the charge. Ooh, this is steep. Doesn't matter how long it's for, you can falsely imprison somebody for seconds. Now, it has to be that there's no way out. So the mere fact you make it difficult for somebody to leave a place, if there is an alternative route, it's not false imprisonment. So say, for instance, you close off Hammersmith Bridge to do some roadworks. There is actually a case on this, I'm not just picking on Hammersmith Bridge. Then the mere fact that you've got to walk the long way around doesn't amount to false imprisonment. Similarly, you can consent to be detained, and it's not false imprisonment then if, as part of the contract, people don't release you. So say, for instance, you're on an aeroplane, and you sort of go, I want off this aeroplane. If you don't let me off, it's false imprisonment. No, it isn't, because you bought a ticket, and the rules are you are deemed to have agreed to stay on that aeroplane till the end of the flight. Similarly, things like, you've got to pay to get in somewhere, or to pay to leave somewhere. There's like a toll bridge or something. So actually, because, it's like, you don't actually have to pay on the Tamar Bridge to come into Cornwall, but you do to get out. So the mere fact they say you're not coming across this bridge unless you pay us the £1 or whatever it is, that's not false imprisonment, even if there was no other exit from Cornwall. And actually 14 ways of leaving this county by land. One of my little ambitions is to actually do all of them, because what I've done, it's really interesting, because one of the boundaries, you don't even realise it's a proper road. You think you're just driving through somebody's garden, but it is actually the public road. So that's false imprisonment. And like I say, you can falsely imprison somebody just, by just standing in, like blocking a doorway. It's counted as false imprisonment. So there you go. I think that's pretty much covered everything. I didn't make any notes because I won't be able to carry them anyway. So in that case, I'll stop rambling and just let you enjoy this rather nice view. So like I say, this is a place called Wheel Coats. It's part of the big tin mining sort of thing. It's up near a place called St Agnes, which is very, very pretty. There's the sea behind me. It's a bit overcast today. I mean, it was really sunny earlier on, but it took me longer to get here than I planned because somebody was tailgating me in the lanes. So I did what the highway code says to do, which is to slow down for safety. And it started getting all flashy and everything. So I did that the last half a mile in low ratio first. But there you go. Oh, I'm going to remember. If you did find this vaguely, oh God, that's a long way down. Hang on, I'm just going to spin that round and dangle the camera over the edge. Wow, but look at that. Is that azure? I'm never quite sure what you call these colours. Regular viewers will probably spot in the distance lots of my regular filming things. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, just come back. If you did find that vaguely all the usual stuff, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, etc, etc. Although, like I say, now I've got me 25,000 subscribers. That's great, so I really appreciate that. And yeah, as people keep commenting, this isn't the only shirt I own, but it is pretty much my favourite shirt. I'm going around the charity shops trying to find, basically I just go in and go, I want a shirt exactly like this one, except not full of holes. There we go, one last bit of framing. It's really hard to see, it's a tiny screen and it's quite sunny, but hopefully you can see that building. Hang on, if I duck down, can you see it? Oh, I'll just spin it round and take some more photos. Yeah, thank you, Siri. Didn't need your assistance there. Yeah, walking backwards on a cliff top, that's a really good idea, Al.